Hello, hello. This is the Donbozos podcast, and welcome to our next episode of Back in the San Jose Room. We're here, we're back. College starts in about 2 weeks, and so you're gonna be seeing this background for a while until I get back, maybe winter break or something like that. My name is Aiden, and of course, I'm joined by my co-host Jeremy. How are we doing tonight?
We are doing great. Obsidian Flames, I think the official release is on Friday, but a lot of places been cracking. People are been cracking open products, and Pokemon Worlds is coming up. Like League Worlds is coming up, and then we also have like basically Valorant Worlds is right now.
We got all
So
the worlds.
super exciting. Yep, all the World Championships are right now, so it's super exciting time.
And Apex 2, that's coming for those
Ooh,
Apex players.
yeah.
It is currently 8:16 p.m. on August 8th, 2023 on a Monday, Tuesday. Today Tuesday,
Tuesday night.
night. Sorry,
Yep.
lost track. So we're gonna go ahead and go over what this podcast is. This episode is gonna be pretty big today, so we'll stick with it. We have our local recap. We have a fan favorite coming back. What is he cooking? And we're gonna talk about Obsidian Flame release. Not too much to talk about since we do talk about the player side and not the collection side. Of course, we're gonna go over the Justin Basil August 7th meta read. And then we're going to go ahead and create a world's tier list. I know some of you have been asking to see us make tier lists more, like my brother and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and do world's tier list. I know Avery talked about how my brother wanted us to do an Ultra Ball tier list. Maybe we'll do that next week. All right. So we'll do Ultra Ball art tier list next week. Maybe a Switch tier list as well. Who knows? But next week's gonna be really big because we're talking about like all the events that we just said, like worlds and stuff like that. Like the results of Pokemon, which is gonna be big. So we're gonna go ahead and do a lot of predictions for the Pokemon Worlds. So if you watch the Uncommon Energy podcast, we're gonna do something very similar because it is really good fun to just talk about and discuss and have a little bit of fun with Worlds because that's what it's for, to have fun. All right. And then next, we're going to talk about League of Legends and Valorant, both the LCS playoff and then the VALORANT Champions results so far, which is pretty juicy, which is pretty cool. Having 5 EMEA teams is pretty funny to watch. So, yeah. Jeremy, do you have anything you'd like to add before we move on?
No, I'm ready to talk some Pokemon.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started with local recap. This segment is we go past the week since our last episode and talk about any TCG locals we went to. Jeremy, do you have any that you went to?
I did not go to any this past week, I think. Yeah.
All right. I went to 3 locals, one of them at Davis Cards and Games before I left here for San Jose, and then 2 of them at Tofu's Trading when I got back. So last Tuesday, 1 week ago at Davis Cards and Games, there was a challenge, and I went 3-1. My only loss to a fellow Lost Zone Tina player, not on Cross Switchers. They actually took inspiration from my list that I brought to Concord, I think, because I was asking about their list. They're like, oh yeah, Tyler sent me your list from Concord. And I kind of convinced them to stop playing 2 Cleansing Gloves because it's a win more card that in matchups you already win. And I was explaining to them like, Guardian, you're pretty much flipping the marker, and if you don't, you're trapping them in the front, and then you can just stabilize later. And then for Mew, your pattern is Meloetta kill, Genesect kill, Mew VMAX kill. So it's pretty simple without the cleansing gloves. And I'd rather have China. Her name is China. I'd rather have them have 3 path and 3 rods rather than 2 path, 2 rod for 2 cleansing gloves, which is just not worth it. So congratulations, China. They did go first. They ID'd last round because they would be guaranteed first because the person who went second, Brian, he was playing Meowscarada. He got a bye first round, so his opponent's percentage was bad. So he's like, yeah, I'm down to just ID, so you're guaranteed first, and I'm guaranteed second. So, hey, first, Lost Tita, second, Meowscarada. So I don't know what's going on, but he was definitely cooking. He's playing the lady with Super E Retrieval. He's putting damage down. He's doing something with Meowscarada. He's been playing it for a really long time, ever since we got back from Fresno. So yeah, but Brian is definitely cooking. But I got third going through run with my Lost Zone Tina list, the same one I've been playing since Concord. Besides the box, I'm playing a third Super Rod. The box is just not helping whatsoever. So yeah, pretty good. I'm up to 80 points, Jeremy. 80 out of 600. I mean, I might,
Yeah.
depending on how well I do at regionals, I could get worlds, but I'm not going to 6 regionals or whatever. How much like the highest cap is? So there's probably a chance. There's a good chance I don't, but I'm gonna go for it. So yeah, that was my run for the challenge. What did you say about that, Jeremy? You got anything?
No, I think the more path is right for the Lost Tina deck. I think path is just super. It's like all the wins like a third of the matchups in the format. So I think having more of that is like super good. And yeah, like you said, the you really if you have path, it kind of serves the same purpose against Mew, and like you kind of like auto win the Mew matchup anyways, even without the gloves. Yeah,
Yeah, you have path and you can flip marker on VMAX. It's
yeah,
pretty good. All right, Sunday. So that was 2 days ago. I came back for first time in 2 months. Tofu's trading locals. One at 12 o'clock. One at 3 o'clock. 12 o'clock one. I decided to play Chen Pao EX. I went 2-1. My first loss, I lost to Vital. My first round, he was playing Sablezard, and I bricked Jeremy. I like in order to beat Lost Box, I needed a clone twice. I did discard both colognes for
yeah.
an Ultra Ball.
Dang.
So I just pretty much lost. Like there's nothing I could have done. Game 2, I played. It's a Belly Bolt EX. I almost lost. I almost lost because he has a simple stadium card named Path to the Peak. So I almost lost to the Belly Bolt EX. It was a Flaffy deck with one Miraidon. So it was pretty cool. I mean, it's just a Miraidon deck at this point, like a Miraidon
Yeah.
Flaffy deck. Maybe a Belly Bolt sick, bro. Paralyzed is strong. All right, but I ended up top decking Pokestop, but I like drew the nuts off of it, and I just ended up winning. He did play Manaphy down, so I was like, all right, cool, Greninja.
Yeah.
They killed both Flaffies. And then game 3, I played into Los Tina, and I just drew the nuts. Like I literally just drew the nuts. You shouldn't lose that. Tina shouldn't lose that matchup. But sometimes if Chimpao just draws the nuts, they win. Because
Yeah.
you could just cross switch a clone or like boss up or like cross switch up the Tina if they only bench one Tina, which is what happened. Matt only benched one Tina, ended up killing it, and then I just kept killing the Tina every time he played one down, and then I cross switch a clone for the last 2 prizes. So went 2-1 with it's just a standard local, and then the same place, Tofu's 3 o'clock. Played Reggie's, went 3-0. Hey, Reggie's, they're back, baby. All right, that's all I'm saying. All right, round 1, played into a Reckoner's Reversal Guardy. Hey, I got turn 1 attack going second. Turn 1 attack. I had like 4 Reggies in hand plus research. He literally couldn't do anything. And then game 2, I played into what did I play into? I played into Chen Pao. Reggie still carried. And the Bad Drago, the 240, that also carried too. So that was pretty good. And then game 3, played into the same Belly Bolt player. Reggie Rock absolutely just destroyed them. So yeah, Reggie's not bad, Jeremy. I know last week I said Reggie's was terrible, but I did play a more consistent list that topped the special event. So hey, the deck is okay. It's not good, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's an interesting deck. I don't think it'll be as good. I think last year Pablo got it to top 16 at Worlds,
Yeah.
but or top 32 or something. I remember it did actually pretty well. I don't think it's gonna do that well in this year's World, but it's like if you hit the nuts, the deck is still like insane. It's just that it's a lot less consistent without like scoop up nets and stuff.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. But yeah, that's gonna be it for local recap. I'm going to 2 events this week to help qualify for Worlds. I'm going to a Challenge Exorcist Comics and a Tofu Cup. So hopefully I do well in those. I know you're coming to the Tofu Cup, which should be pretty
Yeah.
exciting. But other than that, that's gonna be it for local recap, and we are gonna hop into fan favorite section. What is he cooking? Jeremy, go ahead and explain what is he cooking.
What is he cooking is a segment where we go on Pokemon Card.io and we find 2 unique decks to compete against each other to see whose deck was cooking harder. So for this one week, since this Wars came up, we have a little special thing where we have chose 2 decks that Azul GG made.
That is correct. So we thought, Azul's, he's on that content creator when he's not at events, and he cooks up some
Yeah.
random decks. So this week we decided to both choose decks that he built because they are definitely cooking. So we're gonna go ahead and hop into Jeremy's choice, which is a pretty funny deck. And actually, both of the decks we chose use every energy card. So Jeremy, take it away.
So yeah, so I got the Graphite deck. So Graphite has the attack colorful graffiti, one dark energy. You may discard many basic energies as you like from your hand. This does 40 times each type of energy discarded. So this deck had was believe one of every single energy except for dark. So you're just trying to get all of them and discarding them. You have superior energy retrieval to get them back. You have rescue carriers to get your mons back, and then you have the lady to search up to 4 basic energy, reveal them, put them in your hand. So that's how you get the energy into your hand. And then you just have some consistent you have the Curlia and Greninjas to help you just help you set up basically to turbo through your deck and stuff. But yeah,
Grusha,
this
bro,
is
Grusha.
yep. Yeah, we're just trying to discard some energies out here. Yeah, we also have Kusha too. Draw until your hand's 5 if you have no energy attached, which is very likely since you only need 1 dark energy to attack. You can just have no energy attached and then draw into your hand 7.
Straight insane. Although I think I'd rather play Cynthia's Ambition. Yeah, this deck is cooking for real. I just like how like you could just throw in Curlia with Spuddy Calculated any like single prizer deck and just kind of just
Yeah.
draw and then like get support every turn. Pretty strong engine. But yeah, this deck is definitely cooking. I like he has the one Basket Legion for Gather the Crew, for free
Yeah.
energy. So if he ever starts it, he can gather the crew. Other than that, this deck is pretty funny. You have what 8 different types of energies, so you can do a whopping 320 damage if you get all the energies out. So you know you could hit that Duraludon for death. But yeah, this deck is I love single prizer decks. Like these would be so much more fun if Sableye wasn't in format. But you know, other than that, the decks are still fun to play on PC PTCGL ladder, or just if you want to build it to have fun in person with your friends. These decks are always really fun to watch. All right. So I decided to choose something with lots of energies as well. We have Lost Box Kecleon, and this deck I've been wanting to play ever since Super Effective Glasses with Mirage Gate came out because me and my brother just love hitting things for weakness because we want to one shot everything in format. So what you have is the Kecleon with Mirage Gate combo. What the Kecleon does is this Pokemon is the same type as any basic energy attached to it. If it has 2 or more different types of basic energy attached to this Pokemon, is each of those types. So you have so many different types you can be. And not only that, you have the super effective glasses. When applying weakness to damage from the attacks that this Pokemon card is attached to, done to your opponent's Pokemon, apply it as times 3. So instead of hitting for double weakness, you're hitting for 3 weakness. And you might be wondering, hey, it's only 90, so 90 times 3 is only 270. But you have the Articuno, where your basic water Pokemon attack except any Articuno do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So what that means is if say you need to hit something for steel weakness, like Chien-Pao, you would put water energy plus lightning energy, so you get the water energy buff from Articuno. Then you get the steel
Oh,
energy,
yeah.
yeah, the steel energy weakness, and you're hitting for 300. So you can do that for like Palkia. You put like water plus lightning plus like grass, and then you're hitting for 300 damage. So, and then you're playing Lost Box, so it's like still pretty strong. So you got Sableye, you got Starlax for the decks that have Dragon type Pokemon in their deck. So yeah, Jeremy, this is what we're cooking. We got Lost Box Kecleon.
No, this we have yeah, this deck is super great because the super effective glasses. Dude, the Articuno tech is so cool. The to be able to hit 300 damage.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I wonder if it will be if it's funny if you just run like all 3 birds, so you can just get like your fire energy, electric, lightning energy, and Articuno. So you get like the Moltres and the Zapdos from the Pogo set, and you just slam like
360
3 dirt.
damage.
Yeah, just hit 360 damage. But yeah, you probably don't need to hit that much to win matchups anyway. So yeah, I think this deck is super sick. Mirage Gate, always super consistent. When in doubt, you can just play some Sableye Cramorant.
Yep. I do like those a lot. I mean, consistent is like a weird word. He is running 4 switch cart, 4 switch 2 rope with 2 beach court. I really don't like the fact that he doesn't have lost vacuum. So like sometimes you can't guarantee Mirage Gate. But hey, you know what? This deck is not supposed to be meta. It's just supposed to be fun, even though it's a lost box deck. So yeah. Uh, there we go. So that is what is he cooking. Again, Jeremy is going to post a community post after this episode goes out tonight, and you guys can vote on which deck cooked more. Thank you to Azul GG for posting these lists as well as helping we are taking a little bit of inspiration for the predictions for Worlds. So let's move on to the Obsidian Flame release, which released yesterday. And there isn't much to talk about it. I guess we could talk about the top 3 cards that come in the set. I'll go ahead and start with one of them. It's just gonna be Zard, Charizard EX.
Yeah.
It's already gonna be a good card because it's Dark type, which means you can hit half
Yeah.
the meta for weakness. But as well as it's just a beef stick that takes fire energy, so you could play Armor Rouge. You could also play Radiant Zard. There's a lot of fire support in the game. It's just not fast enough. But with this beef Zard, you could do a lot. So yeah, that's my card of choice. It's an obvious one because that's what the set is all about. Jeremy, what do you have?
Yeah, there aren't that many good cards in this set. Zard's definitely the best, probably attacker in the set. I think the next best is like the best supporting one is probably the Pidgeot EX.
Mm.
Pidgeot EX it does require rare candy, so it's like slightly awkward. But then you can just search for a deck. I believe it searches your deck for any one card, right?
Any one card, once per turn.
Yeah. Once per turn, you can search your deck for any one card. Yeah, so that's probably like the best supportive mon. The thing is, I think the set's better after rotation. Might be better after rotation because there's like Path to a Peak and like Sable Eyes. So like a lot of this deck also have Baby Mon. So Sable Eyes just like they're just free prizes for Sable Eye, and Path to a Peak does shut down this Pidgeot.
Yeah.
So this set's probably not the strongest competitive set, but maybe in the future there'll be like some good cards being played here.
Yep. And I think the last card that we'll have is Gold Artisan. All right, that's the best card in the set.
Yeah, probably
So pick
is.
up your
Yeah.
secret rare Artisans. They're actually only $12 right now, so they're definitely gonna go down. And I'm gonna pick up a couple. I might pick up a playset, put it in like I don't know GLC or something like that. But definitely gonna put it in my Reggie's deck. All right, it's gonna be my only gold card in the Reggie's deck. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think the most play cards are probably the three gold cards: the Fire Energy and the R Zone, and maybe a Zard. The three, yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the Justin Basil meta report.
Yep.
Let me put it on the screen. In this week's standard format meta update, Chien-Pao EX slips 2 spots, while Gardevoir EX and Steel Liga VSTAR climb 1 spot each. Lost Tina and Lost Box continue to reign from the top. I don't expect anything more. This is it. I think this is what we're looking like for going into Worlds. I remember everyone talking about Arc Dumbreon being the best deck, but Tina slaps it up. And the more I play this, the more I practice it, Jeremy, Tina's looking like a better matchup than Lost Greninja. And I think the only reason why is Path plus Roxanne. They literally just cannot recover from it. Because it's pretty much the same matchup spread as like, try whoever Greninja's first and blah 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 blah. But if you get like a Tina VSTAR out, then they can't even kill it. And you can like RKO the Dragonite and whatnot. It's not bad. But I think it's just Path plus Roxanne really just hurts Lost Box so much, just like any other deck. The only deck in this list that doesn't get affected by Roxanne is Lugia VSTAR because it all plays from the deck. But other than that, it makes sense that Lost and Tina is number 1.
Yeah, I think the staying power of the Giratina in this format is why Lugia rose up its slot. I don't think Lugia was that good into the the Arcturus and stuff. So yeah, I think this one is I don't know. I'm not sure. I think a lot's gonna change at Worlds. I think it's mainly Gardevoir EX. I think Gardevoir's gonna rise a lot more for Worlds format.
Yeah, I know. I've heard a couple of playtest groups are playing Guardy. Like Keon's group was thinking about playing Guardy. Sorry if I just leaked that, but I know our podcast isn't popular enough for that for people to start like using our podcast as a source. I want to talk about the number 8 spot, Origin Form Palkia VSTAR. Now, this isn't a Chien-Pao deck. This is straight up a Palkia VSTAR deck, with the barrel and like Path and Ionos. So this deck is running 4 Iono, like 3 Irida, 2 Melanie, and the whole point is literally like 3 Lost City, like Cross Switcher or Boss Manaphy, and then VSTAR Power Greninja. Like, this thing is actually strong. Like, it's scary. Because it's Palkia, and every deck in the format right now is full benching, and we all know how Palkia
Yeah.
does when decks full bench. So,
Yeah.
Palkia is definitely scary. And it might sneak top 8 at Worlds. Definitely, it would probably make either top 32 or top 16, and it's just strong because like it's just a barrel deck with Iono and switchers and lost cities, and you just swing. And some of them are running like one chip pow for like bucket plus switch card, something like
Yeah.
that. So who knows? This deck is strong.
Yeah, I think this deck is like compared to Champao, you only need 2 energy attack and you just slam 2 energies and you don't need to recover them every single turn. So I think this thing is like super good against like this thing is actually super good against a lot of decks. And if you need the high damage, can always just star portal to your Champao and use your Champao to go for the one shot. But yeah, you're just playing Palkia. Palkia's always been a super solid card. It just got all its support rotated.
Yeah,
So once it got like Chimp out back, it's like back in the at least like
yeah.
rogue tier because Punk is just a super insane card.
Yeah, Duncan for the second for Pokemon League. He's always been a Poke player, and he's super excited. He's been playing this deck since Conquered, and he literally just has switchers and just like switchers up Manaphy,
Yeah,
Lost Cities it, and then next turn he just V-Star powers Greninja, and it's like insane. And it's all Lost City. You just Lost City everything. Like Guardian X, Boss Manaphy, Lost City it, Greninja up. It's
yeah,
crazy. This deck is fun. I was thinking about building it, but I just traded all my Palkias away because someone needed them. But if I were to build a Palkia deck, it'd probably be this one. We're gonna talk about the other Palkia deck, which is Palkia Shining Arcana. But this one's definitely more consistent in terms of like tech and like how to win games.
yeah,
Any
yeah,
other things you have to talk about for the tier list? Because we're gonna talk about the decks for the tier list. Sorry, anything you'd like to talk about for the Justin Bizzle overview? Because we're gonna talk about a lot of these in the tier list anyways. So anything
yeah.
that surprises you?
Uh, Not really. I think this Chimp dropping down a couple slots makes sense. I don't think this deck's actually like that insane. It was. I think the last week was like, or yeah, and for last time we posted, it was like top 3. I don't think it's a top 3 deck in the format. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think there will be some chance of continue, and then like I think Gardevoir will rise a lot more.
agree. All right, let's go ahead and jump into Worlds discussion. The first Worlds discussion we're going to talk about is our fantasy TCG. Woo! So if you guys don't know, Pokemon is now doing a fantasy where you can vote for TCG, VGC, and kind of vote for the most popular cards that are going to do well. And we both did our own. Jeremy went more the meme route. I did more of a
Yeah,
serious route. He just wanted to mix it up. So let's pull that up right now. Let's go ahead and talk about mine first, since it's more of a serious route. So you have 6 Pokemon. You have V-Star slot, VMAX slot, Radiant slot, EX slot, V slot, and then any card slot, any non-rule box slot. So I just went very standard. For my V-Star, I went Tina V-Star because two of the top 4 decks right now are Tina and Lost and Tina. So Tina V-Star is a really safe choice that it will do well because they're both really strong in the meta because they're both path decks, so you just swing for 280. Really hard to cheese from rogue decks because Tina's got no weakness. So yeah, I went with Mew VMAX. The other VMAX option was the Dumbreon. I think Mew's gonna be better than Arctura. Arctura is kind of falling off
yeah,
because of all the Tinas. And Mew somehow always wins Japan events. So
yep,
I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's some best of one copium they're sniffing, but I don't know. Maybe some Japan player comes along and just rolls with Mew. Like it could happen. Mew is always that deck that just sneaks in. Like no one respects it, and it just sneaks in. It does well. But yeah. Radiant slot. It's gotta be Radiant Greninja. I mean, the other
yeah,
Radiants is what Serena or Zard, which are both kind of tech cards and not really popular. So or spoons. But Radiant
yeah,
Greninja definitely that's probably the safest pick out of anyone. For EX, I'm going to go with Gardevoir EX. The other EX available is Chempao, which I believe Jeremy chose, but I think Guardy's going to do a lot
yeah,
better. And Guardy's always slip in top 8, except for maybe like 1 or 2 events. And then, of course, V is just do Tina V. It's just like the safer bet. And then Manaphy for the tech slot because it could be comfy, but more decks run Manaphy. So like Maridon, Guardy,
yeah,
any Lost Box deck. Some Mews are playing it. So if they're afraid of Kyogre. So yeah, that is my fantasy TCG. So Jeremy, let's go ahead and talk about yours.
Yeah, so yeah, Greninja and Manaphy, I think those are like everyone's picks. There's like Greninja's basically the most popular Radiant, and Manaphy is like played in like almost every single top, or yeah, most of the top decks play like Lost Zone decks, and like yeah, yeah, we have Lost Zone decks that play it. We have Gardevoir decks plays it. The only ones that don't play it is like the Arc decks, because you just
Yeah.
don't have things to get sniped, because you're just playing like 200, 300 HP Pokemon. So the V and VSTAR I chose was Arceus. I think Giratina and Arceus are like, I think Giratina's probably gonna be number one, but I think the next closest is gonna be Arceus, mainly because Arceus also has multiple strong decks to play with. So yeah, and then for, I guess I could have chosen Mew V and like Mew V Max. I think there's a lot of Mew in the top 8, because I think this is just pick them for top 8. Like what most probably in top 8, and then I chose Duraludon. I think Umbreon would have been a better pick, because there are some like Arc Umbreons without Dura, but then there aren't any. But then like, yeah, there's some Umbreon decks without Duraludon, but almost every Duraludon has Umbreon. So yeah, I just chose this one. I just maybe not the best pick. Maybe Umbreon would be better here, but I think like the next, if I'm putting Arc, I'm all in on the Arc train. Maybe might as well just throw another like Arc an Arc deck in here with the Duraludon. Yeah.
All right, Champao.
Oh yeah, Chien-Pao. Yeah, I think there's only like 2 playable EXs, right? Unless expect like a surprise
Masquerade.
Squawkabilly appearance of Masquerade Squawkabilly. And it's like, yeah, I think Gardevoir's gonna be like by far the like higher, but then I guess like Chien-Pao might slip into the top 8. So
Yeah, they
I think I
might.
just put
I
this
mean,
one in.
yeah.
Yeah, it might.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's gonna be our TCG predictions. Let us know what you guys think about our fantasy teams. Um, I mean, in the end, it's just kind of all of our gamble at this point.
Yeah.
Every deck can make top 8 at this point. All right, let's go ahead and do what everyone's been waiting for: the tier list for Trainer Hill. So we have lots of decks here. Yeah, so let's just get started immediately. I mean, Lasso Box. So where we put a Lasso Box. This is the Greninja Lasso Box. Is there any question
Yeah.
where this is going?
No, there's no question for this deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
throw that in S real quick.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and do Gardevoir next. This is this tough one because it could be S, but I
Yeah.
feel like Path just kind of ruins it. So I don't know. There are a lot of decks running Path right now. Like Mew is running Path.
Yeah.
Both Tina decks are running Path.
Yep.
So what do you think, Guardy? This is standard Guardy. This is just standard. Um,
Yeah.
13
Like
energy
the
Guardy. Yeah.
yeah. This is a hard one, because I feel like it's not I wouldn't know. I don't know if I want to put in the same tier as Lost Zone box, but I feel like a lot of the strong players are going to bring it. So then, like the numbers are going to be like higher than how I think the deck strength is. So I think result wise, I think it might be S tier, but I
I think
don't think
it's
this
like
deck is
very
as
top of
good.
A.
Yeah, I think so too. But then like I feel like there's just so many, like for the deck strength, I think it's probably like very top of A or very bottom S. But then I feel like a lot of the good players gonna gravitate towards this deck, so they might just have like inflated just inflated stats basically.
Yeah, I think it'll go very top of A.
Okay.
All right, so next we're doing Lugia Archeops. This is colorless Lugia.
Yeah.
This deck is bad. Loses to Duraludon, less outs to
Yeah.
Path. It has a better matchup with the Lawson box, but a worse matchup into everything else.
Yeah.
I'm down to put it into C tier because it's still Lugia deck. But
Yeah.
I think what makes Lugia strong is Tyranitar right now with
Yeah.
Cragalanche. So I
Yeah.
put in.
Single strike energy.
I'm down to put it into C tier because it gets gimped by lightning type decks. It's pretty
Yeah.
bad right now.
Yeah, I think it's C tier. It's like there is some. No, I think it's like same from D tier. There is a reason played because of the loss of matchup, but then like I feel like you lose too much power by not having the single
You
strike.
just lose
Like the
to Duraludon.
Tyranitar
You
single
literally
strike.
just lose to Duraludon.
Yeah, I think you just lose too much. I think it's not a good trade off for the single strike package. Yeah.
All right, Giratina LZ Box. I think this is just right behind Lost Zone Box. I still think Lost Zone Box is a better deck as of right now.
Ooh. I think it's definitely top 2 decks in the format right now. I'm not sure if it's. I think there's a slight chance it's higher. I feel like a lot of the Asian, Japanese players love this deck, so I feel like this
Ooh,
deck could have a higher ceiling than the Lost Zone Box.
I mean, I'm down to put it number 1, but at the same time, Lost Zone Box is just so good right now.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'll just put it number 2 right now, but I got a gut feel. I think it's just because I just like this deck more than Lost Zone Box that I feel like I want to put it at higher. But maybe I think like Lost Zone Box is probably slightly better right now.
All right, so we got DTE Mew. This goes straight to the bottom. Mew is a good deck, but not this one because someone puts down the Spirit Tomb and you literally can't play the game anymore.
Yeah, it's like you don't play this version of Mew. I mean, I think like even yeah, you have to play Ice Cube. I just can't like you just have to
Yeah.
play Ice Cube. It's not yeah.
All right, we got Arceus Giratina. I think this is right behind where we put Guardy.
Yeah.
It's still a strong deck. I think what just makes it strong is hand disruption plus path, and then the fact
Yeah.
that Tina just kind of clears most of the matchups. Other than that, it's pretty. It's pretty. If you guys want to get into competitive Pokemon and want to play something easy but like with cool
Yeah.
Pokemon, because Arceus and Giratina are both really cool, you play this deck. It's a very very
Yeah.
easy deck to learn. Once you learn like the basic mechanics of the deck, it's pretty autopilot. So with that, you can't get put in the Lost Blender. You'll pretty much be playing at 100% the whole day,
Yep.
because it is the easiest deck to kind of pilot right now. So I would put this right behind Guardy.
Yeah, I think you're never do that when you're playing this deck. The deck kind of plays itself once you like learn the basics of decks. I think the only problem with this deck is this it's like kind of slower than all the other decks. You need your judges to like basically waste one of your opponent's like 1 to 2 turns to win matchups. If like
Yeah.
your judge doesn't stick, you just lose like yeah, if your judges don't stick, you just lose the game because the deck actually like you're always like 1 to 2 turns behind. So you need those judges and Ionos to make up for it.
Yep. All right, we got Lasso and Gudra. This deck sucks, but it's more
Yeah, this
playable
exact.
than Mew Genesect. I'm down to either put it at top of D or bottom of C.
Yeah, I think that's where it goes. I think it's
I mean, what
I think
Lasso
with all
deck
the
played
lost
a deck and was like, yeah, I'm not putting Sableye in my deck.
I think yeah. I I think I'll have to put in like DJ. I feel like there's too many bad matchups. Like Chen Pao is bad. Like Lost on Giratina was like one of the bad matchups was why it didn't succeed at all in like early Scarlet Violet because everyone was on Japan was on Lost Zone Tina.
Yeah,
So I think it's gonna be like a D tier. It might not be a D tier deck, but I think for this Worlds tournament, it's going to be a D tier deck for this tournament.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right, we got my right on Regieleki. This thing also deserves the bottom of the barrel. I mean, you're putting out
Yeah.
3 prizes for free. You don't have infinite damage. Your max damage you're hitting is 280 with 2 Regielekis out. This deck is not that good compared to the other Miraidon deck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this one's gonna. This one I think is just worse than. I think this one's worse than Gudra.
Uh, I think yeah, I think there's a reason to play Guja, but there's not a reason to play the Regieleki version over like the Fluffy version. So yeah, I just put it like below Guja.
Yep. All right, we got Chen Pao Baxcalibur. Um, this deck is solid.
Yep.
It has ways to get around Manaphy with Switcher Clone. Um, and people are starting to play Barrel again because of Pan Disruption. The only issue is it just loses to Path. So despite that it loses the Path, the deck is still quite strong, and I believe it deserves a B tier just in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like it's like the gatekeeper. If your deck is like worse than this deck, you shouldn't play the deck at Worlds or like this format. But if your deck is above or like as good, you should like consider playing it because I think it's strong enough to win tournaments, but I don't think it's like the favorite. I
Yeah.
think yeah, also yeah, the deck loses to Path, but like you do have a decent amount of outs. You usually are at least on like 2 to 3 stadiums. You have like a lost vacuum and then you have Iridas. So you do have like a lots of way to outpath, but sometimes if you just don't find it, you just lose.
Yeah,
If you just don't find like
early Path hurts too.
Yeah, it just early path hurts because if you just can't find the after path, you just lose. But you do have a lot of way to have it. It's just that you just don't always find it.
All right.
Yeah.
We're moving to the deck that everyone disrespects every time a big event happens, Fusion Mew. Now, this Mew is actually playable, and this thing wins quite literally every Japan event. Literally
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
I haven't seen a Japan event on Limitless when it's like, oh, Mew didn't win. I'm pretty sure it's won every event.
yeah. I think this is the definite like way to play Mew. You kind of have to because of Spiritomb existing, unless like it's like the weird thing like last year where like no one is like unless you expect no one to bring Spiritomb, which I don't think it's reasonable. So I think you have to play it because if they just play Path or play Spiritomb, you're just kind of like screwed.
Yeah.
So
I think it goes in A.
yeah, I think it's an A. I think it's an A tier deck. I think it's not as strong as the S tiers, but it's like pretty close to it.
Above Arctina? Below
I
Arctina.
I'll say it's above Arctina.
Okay.
I think I
I
think it's
don't think it's
above
better than
Arctina, but
Guardian.
then I don't think so either. But I think like we're in Yokohama, just so many Japanese players. They all love this deck. I don't know. For some reason this like wins every tournament in Japan. They might just all be on it, and then they're just all mowing on. I think this deck is slightly weaker than Guardian, but because of the player, I feel like the player base in
No, this
Japan
is
they
why.
might
This is why.
be
No, we are Guardian enjoyers.
Guardian enjoyers. All right, Guardian enjoyers. Yeah,
All right. Next, we got the but the dreaded Sable Zard Lost Box. This deck actually is doing a little bit better now. Now that people are discovering the no VIP pass version, I'm talking Pokestops, I'm talking Switchers, I'm talking One Jet Energy, no Mirage Gate, I'm talking vacuums, 4 fogs, 4 nest, like the
yeah,
gas of gas, like this
yeah,
deck is actually not that bad. They're running like 4 switch card, 3 switch, 1 rope, 4 switchers, like something
yeah,
crazy. Like it's a little insane. Um, but it just kind of crumbles to like path and like hand disruption.
yeah.
um, more than normal Lost Box. Like in normal Lost Box gets path, it's like okay, they can't ready Greninja. But if Lost Box Zard gets path, it's like well, they can't hit with their main attacker. So
You
like,
can attack. Yeah,
so I think it deserves either bottom of B or top of C because it is still a Lost Box deck in the end.
yeah. I think I would think I'll put it at top of C. I think the thing is, so many decks are on like on Lost City. So sometimes you just get your Zard Lost City, or you're like you get too many
Yeah.
save by Lost City. It's like, well, I guess like lose the game. Yeah. So I think there's too many like random like Lost Cities and like mainly Champao and like Mew and like Palkia decks that I don't think it's like as good as B tier. So I think it's like top of C tier above the Lugia deck so far.
All right. Next, we have Arceus Duraludon. What many thought was gonna be the world's crusher, and now is in its demise. Um, this deck just kind of crumbles. It runs Lost City, sure, but it doesn't run as many paths. It beats
Yeah.
up Gardevoir pretty hard, but it kind of just loses to Tina decks as well as to Fusion Mew and Lost Zone Box.
Yeah.
Or it's okay against Lost Zone Box actually, the
Yeah.
Alakazam and stuff like. But I think the main issue is against Giratina Lost Zone, as well
Yeah.
as some like Chet Balback's Caliber.
Yeah.
And right on Flaffy
Yeah.
too, which is like pretty big.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah. I think
I still think it's strong
yeah,
though.
it's a solid deck. I think it's definitely a strong deck. It's definitely like at least like B tier, but I
I
don't
think
know.
it
I'm just
tops Chen
I
Pao, Caliber. I think it beats. I think
yeah.
in terms of the tier list.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's like I think it's slightly better than Chimpao Excalibur, but I don't know. I'm so scared to bring this deck to Worlds. You're just gonna brick and just be sad, dude. This is a scary deck if you want to play in like a World Championship.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the deck is good. It's just that you, it's less. I think this deck just bricks sometimes, and you're just sad because you went to like Japan and you just didn't get to play like two of your games because you're just bricking. There's nothing you could have done like differently. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, probably the most disrespected deck in the format because we have no idea who's bringing this deck. Inteleon Urshifu, Rapid Strike
Ooh,
Box. Let's go over this deck really quick, Jeremy, because it shits on Lost Zone Box. It gets
yep,
shit on by Lost Zone Giratina, but it beats
yep.
Gardevoir, it beats Fusion Mew, it beats Arctina, it beats Arcturalidon, it absolutely crumbles to Champa Max Caliber, and
Yeah.
it absolutely has a 0% rating against Lugia. So I don't know where to put this thing, because I don't know who's bringing this to Worlds, but it could squeeze top 4, like, totally, if it just plays it in the right matchups. So who knows where this goes?
Yeah, I think yeah, this deck is like it's an interesting deck. It's like it's like your matchups like 70-30 or like 30-70. So
Yeah,
it's just
it
unwinnable
either
matchups
beats
or
something
extremely
hella or gets beat on. There's no even with it, right? Like at least with
yeah.
like Lost Box and LZT, like there's even matchups. This deck is like it's like you run into something, you're like, oh, I'm shitting on you, or you like run into something, you're like, well, I might as well scoop and go get lunch. Like it's one of the two.
Yeah, it's like you just pray that, like, oh, this is an unwinnable matchup. Hope they break for 2 turns. Somehow. Hope they like I played zero disruptions, but hope they just can't play for 2 turns
No, they play
somehow.
3 Iono now. They play 3 Iono now.
Oh, they're on 3 Ionas on
Yeah,
deck now. So I was like,
like
I
three
don't know. I
Irida,
think
3 Iono,
yeah,
because they play no boss, right? So it's like they have room for more supporters. All right, I'm putting this at bottom of B. Just middle of the pack, middle of the pack.
yeah, yeah. I think yeah. It's an interesting deck. I don't know. If you want to have like all the win matchups and all lose matchups, and you just think you're only gonna play against Lawson for the entire day, I think it's a good bring for like day one. But like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like
All right. Next we have the most disrespected deck of all time, right on Flaffy, because somehow this deck always sneaks a good once every other tournament always sneaks like a good placement. Um, this
yeah,
deck is way better than Regieleki. So for those of you who are watching who don't know, right on Regieleki is you hit with basic lightning type Pokemon, and Regieleki VMAX boosts your basic Pokemon attack by 30 damage. Usually you hit with the Miraidon itself, so you're doing 280 if you have two Regieleki setups. What Miraidon Flaffy does is you hit with the Rechu V, which what Rechu V does is you discard as many lightning energies from your Pokemon like Chempa. It's literally Chempao's attack. It's actually just Chempao's attack. You get 60
mhm,
damage for lightning energy, and basically what you do is you Flaffy up the to your bench Pokemon, you put a Raichu, you just swing for 360, and you repeat. You might be wondering,
yeah,
but you're playing Flaffies into Lost Box, but then you have also a Magnezone VSTAR. And then also some of them are using Ampharos EX to cover up the Flaffies. So they have
yeah,
techs for Lost Box with Sableye and Greninja and stuff like that. And some of them are playing Manaphy too. The issue is it bricks.
yeah,
It bricks just a little bit. So there are decks running like 3 Arvins and like switchers like Seiju Park's list.
yeah,
And like Pikachu, so you don't have to run Beach Court like Flying Pikachu V's just for the free retreat. Um, this
yeah,
deck is nuts on paper. That's what's crazy. Is this deck is absolutely nuts. It's kind of like Chien-Pao, where like it's literally just an electric version of Chien-Pao. Like if you hit, you will fucking hit. Like this deck is too insane. The issue
yeah.
is that you only hit like 50% of the time.
Yeah, I think the ceiling of this deck is insane. The main thing you want to compare it to is just like Chien-Pao. It's like the trade-offs. Like Chien-Pao's like gets destroyed by like Path if like it sticks. This deck doesn't. So like, but the problem is like this deck is also like a lot brickier than Chien-Pao. You don't have
Yeah.
your Iridas, you just search whoever you want.
And they
So
have
you're just
Arvin, bro.
like
Arvin plus 4 is Steel Stone.
yeah, Orange for Steelstone. You do yeah. It's like you're just basically you're just comparing it to Chien-Pao, and it's like this one's less consistent, but then
They
doesn't
have
lose to
hand
Path.
disruption compared to Chien-Pao. They're like almost judging
Uh,
every round instead of Arvin. It's like
yeah,
Chien-Pao that they have Iono
yeah,
instead of Irida sometimes, but they're doing it
yeah,
more on Miraidon.
yeah. That's true, but I don't know. I
I'm
think
just
the
putting
second
this top
slightly
of C. Let's
weaker.
just put it top of C and move on.
I think it's like top C, low B, but like
I think
yeah,
it's top
it's
C.
like I think there's a reason to bring this deck to Eternity. If you're confident in this deck, I think it's a good deck to bring.
Yeah,
But like
I think
I
only
wouldn't
Miraidon
suggest
lovers
you
will play.
bring it.
Only Miraidon lovers will play this deck, which is
Yeah,
cool because like it's like at least one of the. I mean, both box legendaries for SV are being played right now, which we'll get into later with Tinglu. But right now, we're moving on to the meme deck where we have to put it down every time because it's too funny. We got Dialga Magnezone. I'm just throwing this like above like Eugenicide.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Dialga VSTAR is a card that came out along with Palkia VSTAR. It is a beast of a card, but takes too much to set up. For 5 metal energies, or 5 metal, 1 colorless, its V-Star power is Star Chronos. For 220 damage, you may take another turn. Don't get me wrong, the only deck this thing could be is probably Chien-Pao. But or any other Arceus deck because it has uncapped damage. But basically, the Magnezone is looked at top 6 cards and then attach metal energies to your Pokemon any way you like. So you get Miraidon, you Miraidon out the Lightning type Magnezones. You play Adamant to get like Rare Candy plus Magnezone, and then you just hope that you hit 6 energies because you play 23 metal energies. So yeah, Dialga Magnezone. Hey, someone could bring it. Someone could have been like,
Yeah.
I qualified for Worlds. I'm gonna have fun, and they bring Dialga Magnezone. It could happen.
Yeah, I don't think this deck is gonna do well. I don't know if yeah, I think there's gonna be like one person that brings this deck, but I don't see this deck actually doing well. It's like everything just feels super awkward because like you don't compare, especially compared to like last year's version of this deck, and no one played it. I think on last year's World, but like
It did have a
you,
better matchup last year because you had
yeah, you had like Metal
Scuba
Saucers
Nets
and like
and yeah.
Zacian. Yeah, I feel like this deck just got weaker, and then the pool of decks got stronger. So I don't think this deck's gonna do well. So yeah, I think it's like a D tier deck.
Yep. All right. Next, we have a deck that's sneaking its way back up to the meta. Palkia V-Star with Barrel and Lost City. This deck is kind of nuts. Again, the game plan is literally bring up Manaphy with either Switchers or Boss, Lost City it, V-Star power, hit with Greninja. Everyone's full benching. You're doing 280, 260 every round. You could do 290
Yeah,
with Belt or with Cleansing Gloves. The deck is deadly.
yeah, I think the deck is pretty strong. I just you do have the options of Chimp out to like if you want to hit like a billion damage, but Aaron, I think it's around like a B tier deck. I think once people realize that this is actually like a threat and not just someone playing like, oh, I was like, oh, this guy's just playing Champ out Excalibur. Oh wait, he's just not setting up Excalibur. So once people realize that this is actually a deck, I think the people will play around it more. There aren't
Yeah.
like I think people play around it more, so I don't think it will go up anymore. I think it's like just a solid B tier pick.
I think it's just above Inteleon or Shifu.
Yeah, I think it's about that. I think it's weaker than Champ out Excalibur, but I
Yeah.
think yeah, it's like around the same tier. Yeah.
All right, next we have Darkrai. In my opinion, the worst version of Ride on Fluffy. People just play it because they hate psychic types. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm down to just put this. I think it's more playable than Lost Zone Zard, to be honest. I think it's
Yeah.
only because it beats Mew and Gardevoir. Like you can't lose to Mew and
Yeah.
Gardevoir. But you lose to Kyogre, you lose to Tina, you lose to Arctina. Unless you hit the nuts, unless you hit 300 damage like turn 2. I think it's still better
Yeah.
than Lost on Zard. It's a fun deck. Someone will bring it, like Ross will bring
Yeah.
it, or like someone's gonna bring
Yeah.
it, and like I don't know, do something with it, cook with it. I mean, Squawkabilly makes Squawkabilly plus Collapse makes it kind of
Yeah.
good. So um, yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
fun deck. Again, if you guys like to just play like a deck where you just run through your deck and do a lot of damage, and you like Darkrai, this is the deck for you. It's fun. I've played it before, and it's real fun.
Yeah. I think it's robust lost art. It's a turbo dark deck. You're just queuing. Yeah, you're most likely unfavorable against most matchup other than the dark weak ones.
Yeah,
So and
and
you
I
just
like the darker
trying to
decks
just
that are
queue.
running Pokestop Switcher, Cross Switcher. Those are
Yeah.
funny. Those are
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. And you just win matchups. It's 2 matchups where you just like
You're just
100
winning
like 90, yeah, just like 90-10 matchups. You just have 2 of them. So like, but then I feel like every other matchup is like
40-60.
40-ish something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like for all 40-60. So yeah, I think it's like C tier above Lost Block behind Miraidon probably.
it's just a worse Miraidon Flaffy. It's just
Yeah.
less liable. All right.
Yeah.
Ting Lu. Let's talk about Ting Lu because this deck is not bad, but it's also not good.
Yep.
um, it like people say it's like, oh, you just put it on the comfies, but then like Lost Zone Box has switch cart, but they could also like Color Swiss Vacuum, so they could get their Lost Zone up anyways. And then Fusion Mew have they already have a way around Spirit Tomb, so whatever their way around Spirit Tomb is the same thing the way around as
Yeah.
Ting Lu. But Ting Lu does Gimp Chen Pao really easily. It one shots Arceus. Guardy, you stop their draw power. So I don't know. It's like it's okay, but it's like it's not worth playing at Worlds. I think it's too gimmicky, and if you don't hit the
Yeah.
Dino Cry, then like you lose the game.
Yeah. If you don't hit like you don't hit two energies of Dino Kai, I think like every matchup is like unfair. Like almost every matchup's unfairable. Like I played the matchup Arctina against it. Even though like one shots arcs, it's not even like the thing is you don't have any acceleration. So if your Tinglu with energy and you don't have an EXP share gets knocked out, you're Dino crying another turn. So you're down
Yeah,
like you're basically just down like 2 turns in the game, which is just I don't know, it just feels really bad.
yeah. I'll put it at top of D.
Yeah, it's like top of D, bottom of like C tier. It's like it's yeah, I don't
We
know.
can't put
I
it bottom
wouldn't
of
bring.
C tier because we got a lot of decks that are gonna go C tier in the future right now.
Okay, okay.
All right, we got Single Strike Lugia. This thing is pretty good. This is one of the
Yep,
things that Jeremy and I joke about, where it's like if a Single Strike Lugia player draws well every game, they will win Worlds. It's ridiculous.
yep,
Like they will. Like there's no question about it. If they draw well every game, they will win. That's how strong Single Strike Lugia is right now. But we all know that they won't draw well every game, and sometimes your opponent just draws really well. Like you
yeah,
get, I think the worst part about Single Strike Lugia right now is you just get rolled by Lost Zone Box turn 2. Like they will just turbo to wreck you, and your Lugia will die.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm not gonna just put it in A. This deck is strong. It has a good matchup with the Mew
yeah,
because you have Tyranitar. Good matchup with the Guardian because Tyranitar. Good matchup, a decent
yep,
matchup with the Lost Box because of Tyranitar. Tyranitar carries this
yeah,
deck. You can't get cheesed by Arcturalodon because you're playing Urshifu. So,
yep,
yep, this deck
yeah,
deserves A tier. Where
yeah.
below Guardy, above Guardy?
I think I'll put it below Guardy. I think
Okay.
it's yeah,
The
yep,
only thing that's
yeah,
stopping this deck is Path to the Peak, but you run for
yep,
research. Um,
yeah, yeah. You just have you don't have like you just draw enough out to see the deck. I feel like Path to Peak only hurts for like right before your VSTAR turn. So after that, you don't even mind being like under path anymore. So you
yeah,
just need to get like yeah, just need to get off that one path, get your VSTAR, put up your Archeops, and then like path is no longer like a problem.
yeah, and 3 gift energy, 3 V guarded energy is so illegal, bro.
Yeah,
But yeah, let's move on to Reversal Guardian. Guardian that we thought was going to be really strong, but then it ended up falling flat. So how Reversal Guardian works is you have 4 Reversal Energy. You basically get a prize behind by Mirage Stepping one of the turns, and then you Turbo, Turbo, Turbo to get your Reunion out. And while you're doing that, you're just swinging for 150 every turn with
yeah,
the Shiny Arcana Guardians. With like you have 3 of them in the deck. And then once you get B2 Reunion out, you beat every Lost Zone box. But the issue is like Tina kind of just rolls you anyways.
yeah,
And you're just not as strong because you don't. In order to like hit 280 with like the Shiny kind of guardians, you have to like pre-attach a reversal and then attach another reversal and then put 2 energies on with your Gardevoir, which is like a lot. And you're getting like hand disrupted every turn, and you play less hand disruption yourself.
yeah.
It's still a Guardian deck, but I'm down to just like put it above like Darkrai. But I think it's still worse than Ride on Flaffy.
Yeah, I think it's worse than right on Fluffy. It's I don't know. I personally not the biggest fan of this deck. I think I would rather just play like regular Guardy over it. I feel like I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of this deck. I think it's okay. So I think
Actually, it
yeah, I
might be
think
worse
that's the
than
first step.
Darkrai. I
Yeah.
think I'd rather play Darkrai than Reversal Guardian.
Uh, yeah, I think I'll. Yeah, I think. Well, I'm not sure. I think it might be stronger than Darkrai, but I would rather play Darkrai because I just rather have like the free matchups.
All right, we have the Burbs up here next. Beats everything but Lost Zone. Anything with Sableye.
Yeah,
And Inteleon Urshifu, unless you like hit the Nux with Waltrel.
yeah,
I'm down to just like put this above right on Flaffy and like just chill.
Yeah, I think it's around top of C tier. It's an okay deck. It's
So
just
like,
when
it's
you're
like
weak to
a
the strongest deck in the format,
it's
it's
a
kind of like
1090 against any deck with spread, and then it
yeah,
beats Guardy, it beats up Lugia, beats up Mew, beats up
yep,
Arceus, beats up Chen Pao, because all you do is boss max Caliber, beats up
yep.
Palkia, 50-50 against Atelian Urshifu, but then like there's 1090 against Sableye.
Yeah, it's like if Sableye wasn't the best deck in the format, this might be like an A tier deck. But
Literally,
since
the
like
S tiers are just two
Sableye is
Sableye decks.
yeah, so I think it's like yeah, I think top of C tier is great. It's like it's just unfortunate Sableye
Someone will
exists.
play it. Someone will play it at Worlds. One person will play it.
Someone yeah.
All right, so next we have a single Predator deck that's been up on the rising. The only single Predator deck that doesn't instantly lose a Sableye. We have
Yep.
Regis. It's not bad. I tested a little bit and it's fun. Uh, but it just feels bad, man. We don't got like scoop up net. But
Yeah.
it's a 4-path deck, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
I'm down to just like put this with like next to United Wings.
uh I think it's like the deck's okay. I think it's around that tier, like C tier, where it's like one will do well, but then I don't predict more than like two people bringing the
Yeah,
deck.
I mean it
Yeah,
beats Lugia. It ties against Mew. It beats Chen Pao, beats Palkia, beats Inteleon Urshifu. Inteleon Urshifu is a little bit weird because they could like rapid flow into Metacham, so I don't know.
yeah,
But it loses to any Lost City. Okay, actually, no, Lost City kind of ruins it.
yeah.
But I still think it's okay. Like it's not that bad.
I think yeah, the deck's okay. I Lost City just like most matchups where they are running Lost City just wins the matchup unless you like don't see unless you like don't see the Lost Cities. But like
Yeah.
I don't know, the deck's okay. I don't think it's gonna be. I think United Wings better. I think it's around the same strength as like the next, like basically the next two in Miraidon Flappy and the Darkrai. But I don't think. I think still United
I
Wings
think
slightly
Miraidon
stronger than
Flap.
it.
I think I'll put it right below Miraidon Flap. I think Miraidon Flap is a better
Yeah.
deck than Reggie's.
All right.
All right, we have the poor man's Inteleon Urshifu, Meowscarada. I think Meowscarada is actually equal to Inteleon Urshifu in terms of spread power because
Yeah.
it's not a 3-prizer and it's not weak to anything in the format besides Zard. So the only issue is it is a rare candy deck, so
Yeah.
and it loses the path. But the deck is not
Yeah.
bad, and I don't think people has given it enough love, so we don't have very many we don't have very much information on it, so I'm okay with putting it at the very top of D tier and just letting it sit there and letting it cook a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's. I think that's about right to where to put the deck.
It's a 90-10 matchup against Tinglu, by the way.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But it cooks Lost Zone Box just like how Inteleon Urshifu cooks Lost Zone Box. But we just don't have enough information on it, so we just have to. I'm just gonna put it. I think
Yeah.
we put it at top of D tier. Let it cook a little bit. Sorry, Brian. I know you're watching. Um, sorry to put your boy like that, but we don't have enough information.
Yeah, it's similar to Inteleon without the octopus, and the octopus is kind of broken.
Yep. All right, we have Gengar VMAX. This is the hey, I want to play a dark type deck because it beats half the format. But the Gengar VMAX also one shots everything in format. Also, it's a
Yep.
path deck, so
Yep.
I actually think it's pretty good. Besides the fact that it's a 3-prizer. But you can also attack with the
Yeah.
Houndooms for single prizer fights.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with
Yeah.
putting this like maybe right above Reggie's.
Yeah, I think I personally would put this deck above Darkrai if you want to like play a dark deck. I think it's better than Darkrai. I
Yeah.
think that's just like the path. You're also most decks are on the barrels too, so if you get like Iono, you can like just recover by because you have like
You have a
you
blue
have the
barrel.
barrels.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's I think it's in C tier. I think it's under Flappy and above Darkrai, so I think it's around like the Reggie tier. I'm not sure which one like what the specific ordering, but I think it's slightly better than Darkrai and slightly worse than Random Flappy.
Yeah. All right, finally, but certainly not least, we have Palkia Gardevoir. This is the Shiny Arcana Gardevoir deck, it loses to Lost Box, but it's pretty good. It's a Lost Box at the same time. You basically play Palkia with like four Curlies on your bench and Radiant Greninja.
Yeah.
You either boss or switcher up Manaphy. You can Lost City it, or they
Yeah.
usually just only play Pokestop. And then at the end of the game, you have 3 Recyclers, Recycler, Arcana on the Kyogre, and then switcher up the Manaphy, Cologne, and then sweep the whole bench. um,
Yeah.
so the deck is definitely funny. It's nothing to like rave about, but if you want to play
Yeah.
like a turbo deck that uses Palkia and Gardevoir, this is the deck.
Yeah, it's cool, but I don't see the reason to play it over like just the normal Palkia build. And if you want to play Kyogre, just play it like Lost Zone.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
down to
so
put
it's like
this just below Masquerada.
yeah, I think it's probably somewhere in the D tier, but I don't
It's
think
probably
it
below
the
Tinglu too, let's
place.
be honest.
Yeah, I think it's like probably I don't know. The deck is not very
Hey,
good, but the deck
apparently
is
this
like
deck cooks Meloetta, bro.
the deck might be fine, but there's just better options to play. Like if you want to play Pocket, just or if you want to play like there's just better options to play the cards in the combination with than these two. So yeah.
Yep. All right, well that's gonna be the tier list. Let us know what you guys think of it. Again, only 2 in S tier, which I don't know if that's good or bad for the format. And they're both lost zones, so we're just
Yeah.
all waiting in a year and a half for this all to rotate over. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the tier list. Let's go ahead and hop into World's predictions. We're gonna rapid fire these because we are getting just over an hour. And we don't want to hit that 2 hour mark or like 90-minute mark because those are for like guest videos. And don't worry, this is gonna be pretty soon. So let's go ahead, Jeremy. Let's start with what is the top 3 most popular decks in day 2?
I think the top 3 most popular decks just gonna be the 3 highest that we have in the tier list. It's gonna be Lost Zone, Box, Tina, Lost Zone, Tina, and Gardevoir. I think that's like I think
Yeah.
it's just pretty safe.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. Lost Zone, Tina, Lost Zone Box, and I'm actually gonna go with the Lugia. I think that deck is gonna hit a lot of popularity because people are gonna start sleeping on it because there hasn't been much talk about it right now, in terms
Yeah.
of locals and stuff. All right, I'm gonna start with the one underrated deck and one overrated deck. I think the one underrated deck is going to be the Palkia deck. I think it's
Yeah.
very underrated, and I think it's very strong. It finally got the support it's needed. It's not as strong as last year, the Palkia meta, but I still think it's very slept on. I don't think a lot of people are gonna know how to play against it, and I think the one overrated deck is it's gonna have to be I think it's gonna have to be Lost Tina. I hate to say it, but I just don't think that a lot of people are going to be playing it. I think a lot of people are going to be playing my optimal version. I think everyone's going to be playing the switcher version, okay? Because it's just I don't know, man. I have a feeling that everyone's going to make the deck look bad. But hey, I don't know. These players made worlds and I didn't, so who knows? What do you have for one underrated, one overrated?
Underrated, I think. Yeah, I think I have to agree with Palkia. I think this deck is like I think this is the underrated deck of the format or this tournament right now. I think overrated deck. I think I think it's like common that everyone thinks like Lost Zone Box is the best deck in format. I even though it might be, I don't think it's gonna be Win World, so I'm just gonna put that as the overrated deck.
I mean, Lost Box hasn't won a single regional yet. Hasn't won a single regional yet. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah, I don't think
people
it's
just
gonna
get put in the
be
Lost
yeah.
Blender, bro.
Yeah, I think it's. I'll put that one overrated deck because I don't think it's gonna win Worlds, but yeah.
All right, we have highest placing rogue deck. I think this is gonna go like along with the C tier or D tier of our list.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm just gonna go Reggie's, man. I'm a believer.
Oh,
I'm going Reggie's. I think Reggie's will be the highest placing rogue deck.
I'll go with the other one prize deck. I think it's gonna be the Wings, the United
Oh,
Wings.
the wings! Woo! Okay. Both decks losing the Lost City, but
Yeah.
maybe Masquerada pulls through. Who knows? All right, which deck will win Worlds, Jeremy? Which deck is winning Worlds?
Oh, which deck will win Worlds? I think Gardevoir is gonna win Worlds. I feel like there's just so many top players playing the deck. I think Gardevoir is gonna win it.
Ooh, Gardevoir is a pretty good choice. I'm gonna have to go something a little unorthodox. I'm gonna have Dude, so many people. Oh my god, I want to say it, but at the same time, I don't want to say it. Dude, who knows, bro? Yeah, I think Fisher is gonna win Worlds.
Officially,
Dude, I think
I think
like
that's
some
like
Japanese player is gonna roll up, bro. Dude,
yeah,
PCB is winning Worlds. Like, the deck is always
yeah. I
so
think
slept on.
yeah, I think I was looking at our channels like what decks do I think is gonna win Worlds? And like my first three were actually Gardevoir, Single Strike Lugia, and Fusion View. So it was like the top tier top decks in A tier. It's like I just I don't know. I just feel like those three decks are like the
It's
ones
the
that are
best
gonna
deck
win.
going second besides Lost Zone Box.
Yeah,
Like, if they decide, like, if they lose the dice flip in finals, like, they're okay with going second. There's only a few decks that are okay with
yeah,
going second.
yeah,
The issue with Lugia is if you go second, it's rough, and same thing with Guardi. If you go second, it's pretty rough.
yeah.
All right, what region wins Worlds? Hey, I'm riding it all the way, bro. If there is Fusion Muse winning Worlds, Japan's winning Worlds, baby. Japan or like Malaysia or some East Asian country is winning Worlds.
I'm on the USA trade. I believe.
Hey! Okay,
I think
okay.
yeah,
USA with the Guardi deck, bro.
USA with the Guardian deck. Yeah,
Yo, if Keon wins World with Guardi, bro, salute. He's joining us at San Jose State
yeah.
for his master's degree. All right. What is the 4 decks that we printed in World Champ decks? All right. I will go with this. I mean, they already put Lugia on the promo. They're gonna have to print Lugia as a champ deck. Like, I don't care if it's colorless
Mm.
Lugia or if it's single check Lugia. They are printing Lugia as a championship deck. I mean, they already put it in
Was-
that trailer video. You've seen it, right? The animated one. They put Lugia
yeah,
Archeops in there. Lugia Archeops is gonna be one of them. Even I think the only reason why Fusion Mew would be printed is if it wins, because Mew was
yeah,
already printed last year. I don't think they're
yeah,
gonna print any Arceus decks. So I think the decks they're gonna print
yeah.
is Lugia Archeops. If it makes top 8, Inteleon Urshifu. And then
Ooh,
Gardevoir,
no,
and then either uh uh and then a Lost Zone deck. So I think it's gonna be a Lost Zone deck, Lugia, Inteleon. Oh no, Inteleon Urshifu was printed. Oh, Inteleon, no, Urshifu was already printed last year. So okay, so
yeah.
it'd be a Lost Zone deck, Gardevoir, Lugia, and then +1. I don't know what it'd be.
View of view of the Wind World.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whoever wins Worlds,
yeah,
Mew or like Arctura, but Arc was printed last year too, so it's whoever wins is the last slot. But I think Lugia Arcops is gonna be printed for sure, and Gardevoir is gonna be printed for sure.
yeah. So they normally take like one that wins Masters, one that wins Juniors, and one that wins Seniors, and then like one other deck that's not represented. I feel like I feel like if Lost Zone Box doesn't win any of those, I don't think they're going to print it because I just think when you look at the packaging, you're just gonna see a Sableye and Cram, and no kid's gonna want to buy that product.
No, you'll see Dragonite and Raikou. What you talking about? Oh, dude, they'll
So I
put
think
Miraidon if it does well. They'll definitely put Miraidon if it does well.
yeah. So I think Gardevoir's gonna win. So I'll put Gardevoir. I just feel like I think Lugia and Mew's gonna also do well. So I think it's gonna be those two as those three. And then I'm gonna say junior division's gonna be one per Miraidon. So I'm gonna put
Yeah.
Miraidon as the last deck being printed.
Yeah, probably. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, lots of decks though, which is cool because
yeah,
like Chempao could be printed, like that could do well, and like
yeah,
Chempao could be printed. So
yeah.
yeah, where next rules will be hosted. I have two guesses, either Canada or EU. I know EU is really broad. But it's never been in Europe before, so except London. Oh, is London Europe? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, London.
I
Yeah,
okay, you know what? I'll choose one. I'm gonna go Canada. Canada next year.
Canada next year. Ooh, I think I wanted to say it's been so long since I think there've been the Hawaii World, so maybe that, or because Scarlet Violet takes place, I think in Spain, there could have a World at Spain next year because I think they're
Hmm.
still playing Scarlet Violet in VGC. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's one of those. I'm gonna go with Spain. I think that's like the safer guess
Yeah,
because
that's what
of
Matt
the
said too.
region. Yeah, the regional ties. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That's gonna be it for our Pokemon segment. Now we're gonna have two very quick segments to end off the podcast. So let's go ahead and hop right into the League of Legends North American LCS playoffs. We've had 6 series go on so far. 2 teams officially dropping out. TSM and 100 Thieves. Double Goat is over. The age of Double Lift is gone, but he will be back next year. Let's go ahead and start with upper bracket round 2. The Golden Gagungas versus NRG.
I just NRG. It's been so long, but I guess like they aren't COG anymore. But it's been so long since they made Worlds. I'm just super happy to see that they like they're they're back.
They
They're finally
qualified,
back
right? They
after so
qualified,
long.
right?
Yeah, it's
Like
a top
Cloud9 and
4
NRG
team.
qualified, right?
Yeah, they're qualified Worlds, but they are I think guaranteed top 3, like the top 3 seed in NA, and then the 4th seed plays against EU's 4th seed to
Yeah.
see who gets into Worlds.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just it's been so long. Yeah.
I'm actually surprised they've just done this well, like in general, like with their lineup. Really, really cool team to
Yep.
see them, but it's time for them to take the 3-0 against Cloud9. I'm making that prediction right
Yeah.
now. Cloud9, they're taking that 3-0, dude. I mean, if EG can't take a game off, NRG's not taking a game off.
Yeah, I think it's like CLG's less energy is like C9's kryptonite, but I don't not in I think in the upper finals, I think Cloud9's just gonna like with proper time to prepare, they're just gonna sweep them 3-0 for
The meta
Cloud9.
is right for C9 right now. It's an 80 carry meta, and
Yeah.
it's an 80 carry top meta, which is like insane because like top hasn't been useful for like years. So
Yeah.
all right. So yeah, we already went over C9 versus EG, which is kind of sad because my boy JoJo deserves to go to Worlds again.
Yeah,
We're gonna go.
they have one more chance.
They have one more chance. TSM versus Dignitas, a close game. TSM just barely losing. Dignitas taking the 3-2. Hey, I thought this team didn't have money. Why are they even still here? Like, why is Dignitas still here? Like, where's our Mr. Beast
Yeah.
team, man? Like, where are they at, bro?
The funny thing is, this is I think Dignitas is Jensen, and as Jensen has made Worlds every single year, so it would be crazy if like
Ooh.
I think he was 8th seed and like 8th or 7th seed in like LCS this season. It would be crazy if he actually makes top 4 and then just makes it Worlds again.
Jensen do be the goat, the mid lane goat,
Yeah,
behind Bjergsen.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's
yeah. Hey, Team Liquid
yeah,
Honda versus 100 Thieves. It wasn't a 3-0 like we predicted. It wasn't a 3-0.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think this team like roster is so stacked, but I just don't believe in them. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do predictions. Golden Guardians versus Dignitas.
Ooh, Golden Guardians versus Dignitas. Do I believe in Jensen or do I think Golden Guardians is so good?
Yeah.
I want Dignitas to. I want both. There's actually a lot of teams in NA I like this season, so well, I guess I just like Jensen on Dignitas, but like I think I want Golden Guardians too. I think Golden Guardians too. They did beat BLG once, like one game in MSI. I think they haven't like I think they just have a chance to do well. I don't know.
I think it's
They're
Golden
just super cup,
Guardians
but
3-2. 3-2.
3-2. Ooh, yeah. I did. I think it's gonna be either. I'm gonna put Golden Guardians 3-0. I think they're gonna Saba. It's
Nah,
gonna be a fast series,
who
hopefully.
he won't let a 3-0 happen.
Yeah, we would not let you. Yeah, I think you're right, dude. Yeah, but yeah, I believe in 6-8. 6-8's kind of crazy this season.
Yep. All right, we got Evil Geniuses versus Team Liquid Honda. I think this is gonna be a 3-0 series either way. Both of these teams are ego ran. It's gotta be EG. Like, there's no way TL takes a game off of EG.
Yeah, it's like I want EG to win. I think EG's gonna win, but it's like, but when you look at the roster, you just see like EG's roster versus TL's roster. It's like TL's roster is like so stacked, and EG's like, yeah, they're like on a budget roster. They have JoJo under rookie contract, and then like all these like NA players that probably aren't like highly valued. But I think EG's gonna win. I believe in JoJo. They're gonna. I think it's gonna be a close series. I think it's gonna be a 3-2. It's gonna be basically a Summit versus a JoJo series.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Valorant because, man, it's been spicy
Ooh,
for champions.
yeah,
First, let's talk about Group B. Our boy Evil Geniuses.
yeah,
They have done it. 2-0, 2-0.
yep,
We have a Demon 1, like you said. Yeah, I mean, man, he's just so good, man. Like,
yeah.
oh, those matches were just insane. And did you see the map picks against Fun Plus Phoenix? Did you see what they did? Were you watching?
I didn't see the map pick. I started watching like map 2.
So what happened was the coach and Boostio, because you know how they like have
Yeah.
like lady with a tablet doing map picks instead of them just
Yeah.
being at their PCs. So what happened was
Yeah.
is Fun Plus Phoenix like picked map one, and then they're like, okay, Evil Geniuses select slide, and then like the coach was like, hey, let's talk over there, and they turned around, and in the microphone they like whispered, we love you Twitch chat, we love you Twitch chat, and then they turned back around. But yeah, Evil Geniuses, they are the content machine, but also goaded at
Yep.
the same time. So yeah, EG making it over. Fun Plus Phoenix, we had no idea how they did, but hey, they got more than 8 rounds. So Busio was wrong about that one.
Yeah. They got 8 rounds on both the maps.
Yeah,
Maybe he was predicting 8 rounds per game.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go over the matches that we think are pretty important. T1 versus FET, we don't really need to go over. T1 not
Yeah.
doing as well though as we thought, so
Yeah.
that's pretty unfortunate. Fnatic, I mean, Fnatic 2-0,
Yeah.
Fnatic 2-0, and then BLG 2-0 against NRG, man. That is crazy because what did we put for pick'em? Did we put NRG winning? Yeah, we put NRG winning.
Yeah.
So
Put energy in. Yeah.
NRG not performing as we thought, but hey, we got BLG. We don't know anything because it's the China team, so you know they
Yep.
could have the next King. We just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess they secretly did have the next ranking. I guess we just didn't find. Now we find no. Now we will have this information for next tournament. I guess.
Yep. And then not as sincere 2-0 Liquid. What did we put? Did we put Liquid winning or not as sincere winning?
I think
We
we
did
put
put Liquid
liquid.
winning. We indeed put Liquid winning. But they're very close. So I guess so. And then
Yeah.
DRX 2-1 against Loud. Unfortunate for Loud, one of our America's teams, but the DRX beats Not as Sincere, qualifying for the next round. Congratulations! I mean, DRX is the best team in this group stage for sure in Group D. So I'm not too surprised there.
Yeah, it's a pretty close group. I would say yeah, DRX is the best team in this group. I think there's like some rumors and loud, so like I think that like lowers how good they are, and then like yeah, Liquid has not looked as good since they beat Fnatic, and Navi has been like weird up and down since like last since he got a new roster basically.
Yep. And for pick'ems, we currently have 35 points, so we're top 9% of users, which is not bad. It's crazy how some people have 0 points. That's just insane to me. How are they
They
not
didn't
gonna
pick
put
Fnatic.
how are they not putting Fnatic winning, bro? Like, come on. They just hate Fnatic or they just love Zeta or what? Like, I don't know. But yeah, we'll have to look forward to King finally playing again. I think that's what everyone's looking forward to.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the podcast episode. Jeremy, do you have anything you'd like to say before I close out the episode?
No, I'm just excited to watch some Pokemon Worlds. It's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, we're also excited to do some League of Legends duo after this recording. So, all right, guys, that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching a little bit longer episode. Finally, that gap has closed. We have made it. Worlds is here. Champions
Yeah.
is here. Everything is here, and school starts in 2 weeks. Still, we have a little bit of time to relax and continue.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, leave a like, and follow our socials. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.